Welcome back to another episode of Sister Sisters featuring Mouselet 2 in a bathroom.
Hey, I am currently
Woo!
at my Disney Springs hotel. Woo! And I'm in the bathroom. Mouselets is out there working on a presentation. And so this is my studio for today. I'm also literally holding my microphone. If you're on video, I'm holding this thing. It's a little bit heavy. The stand weighed like 5 pounds, couldn't fit in my suitcase. So I just had to embrace the fact that I'm holding this. But funny thing about this Disney Springs hotel is the fact that I haven't stayed in a Disney Springs hotel much before. This is my second time. Honestly, not my fave thing. There's some pros, there's some cons. But the only other Disney Springs hotel I stayed at is this very hotel that I'm in. By chance, we stayed here on our 2020 trip. Um, we stayed off site as kids with our family every single year up until 2018. 2018 lore, every single time. Then we started staying on site, but we stayed in like a timeshare, so not like a hotel like that, like this. But honestly, I don't love it. I just gotta say.
I think staying off site has a time and a place. If you are literally needing a place to sleep only, it's fine. But our trips have evolved to where we do a lot of resort stuff. We love the resorts. Like they're like a whole additive layer to a Disney trip. And so staying in just like a random hotel that happens to be near Disney, not as fun, I will say.
If I had to stay in a hotel at Disney Springs, this one is pretty decent, all things considered. I've left now. I'll tell you where I'm at. I'm at the Wyndham Lake Buena Vista. The rooms are nice. The luggage situation loading was not enjoyable. I broke all my fingernails trying to load the luggage. I mean, not their fault, but they made us do it on a hill. Like it was tough. It was a little out of control. But no, the Wyndham is pretty good. The rooms are clean. The lobby is like decently sized. My favorite part is it's only an 8-minute walk from Springs. You can literally, we have a car too, but there's like a nice sidewalk. There's a ped bridge. I feel like Disney Springs is so accessible to me. I haven't gone, but I could. And so I do really like that about this versus where we stayed as kids, which was this Horizons is what we called it. It's now called Marriott Harbor Lake. And that one was like, you couldn't walk to Disney. That was on International Drive. So I do like that component, but overall, I'm just like, I'm missing the Disney service. I'm missing the Disney rooms. I'm missing everything about like a Disney resort. I would rather stay at like Pop than here.
We have so much to talk about with our trip in general. So we're going to like do a full deep dive of that on our episode. But today, Mouselet 2 has actually been working remote a little bit from the bathroom before, now
Oh,
from the parks earlier today. And I heard that you had a little problem with a little toot toot horn going off.
so I decided that I didn't want to work from this hotel because it wasn't fun. And I was like, I'm in Disney. I'm going to make this fun. I'm going to work from the Riviera. So I had to drive to the Riviera, and I was like, oh, I like can't really park at the Riviera. Like I could maybe ask, and maybe they'd let me, but then if they didn't, it'd just be a whole thing. So I was like, I'll just park at Hollywood Studios, take the Skyliner over. But then I was starving, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go inside Hollywood Studios, get breakfast. And then I was like, all right, I'm not going to Riviera. Like that is just too much of a hassle. So I'd found a good spot over by on Sunset Boulevard for a while, and then I was going to just kind of walk around, see if there's anywhere else I wanted to kind of um sit at because that spot was absolutely freezing. So I was gonna go maybe ABC Commissary. When my boss messaged me and was like, "Hey, do you have a minute?" And I was like in the flux of like finding a new spot, and I was like, "God, trying to be on a call with my boss in ABC Commissary right now feels like that's just going to be like not ideal." So I popped down at a really quiet area over by kind of Gertie and the Dockside Diner at a table. No one else was around. It was perfect. We're on the phone for like 15, 20 minutes when suddenly the loudest freaking tooting horn ever toot goes off. And so loud. And I'm like, I couldn't tell if she was hearing it. I certainly was hearing it. She heard it,
She
which
was definitely hearing it.
I don't care that like
She
she
was
knows
hearing
I'm
it.
at Disney. Like we follow each other on Instagram. Like she knows I'm in Disney, but like just the premise. She was, oh, are you still in Florida? And I was like, I'm wondering, but she's like associating that tooting horn. She probably thought it was a train. I was like, oh yeah, I am. And like it was just not. And also I was sitting outside, so like that was kind of obvious too, although I had a virtual background. But really good spot, other than the fact that every 15 minutes or so that huge tooting horn went off.
We have worked from Epcot before as well, which because they have that new area in the center, which actually has a lot of seating and like outlets, it's nice. But I will say, until you're sitting there trying to work on a meeting, you don't realize how much like ambient noise is happening all the time in a Disney park. I would say the best place to work, honestly, that cafe in Riviera is pretty good, but it's harder to take a meeting there. Wilderness Lodge has literal little like desks that you
But
can
they're
sit at
pitch
up on
black
the
and there's no
second floor.
chargers.
Well,
I think
they're
the best
still good.
spot is the Solarium at Beach Yacht Club. I think that's a pretty good spot.
I think it's so chaotic in there sometimes because cruises leave from there.
I
Remember
well,
that?
I mean, yeah, and there's kids' activities. I mean, all things considered, Disney is not really geared towards the one place I'll say people say to work, and this is the worst spot ever. People are like, go work in the second or third level of the contemporary. Oh my God.
There's
No, there's
nowhere to
like
sit.
nowhere
There's
to
nowhere to sit.
sit. Don't do that. That's like awful. You sit on the ground. Um, yeah, there's not like amazing. You know, actually, where my favorite thing might be is the Puffins Roost.
Yeah, because no one's in there during the day. That's at Port Orleans Riverside.
Yeah. I wouldn't seek it out if you weren't staying there per se. So that's been my remote work. Then I worked in this bathroom for a bit. Now we're recording the podcast. And kind of the last thing that, well, we're going to talk about it a lot in this episode for the special segment, but this was your last trip before the baby, and you filmed a little story that like popped off. We got so many replies that I posted it as a reel, and it was her just talking about how like this is her last trip, how weird, like to be coming back, everything's going to change. Any comments on that before we? I mean, I know we'll talk about it later, but any thoughts?
Yeah, we'll do a whole little segment, but it was really weird for me when I was leaving. I think everything else in the with the baby has been sort of hypothetical. It's been like, oh my gosh, yeah, of course, in 4 months, I'm not gonna be able to do this anymore, so weird to think about, but this was the first time that I was like, "Oh, I'm not coming back here again. This is it. This is a place I go all the time, and now I will not be back here again until this big thing happens," and, like, it was just a really weird feeling leaving, like, I don't know when I'm gonna be back. When I do come back, it'll be different. It was very tangible for me in ways that it hasn't been before, so I was feeling, very emotional about it.
Just feeling eames. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but before we get into a trip recap, let's do a little
And that's what you missed on Glee.
news.
News.
There's just one
Okay,
huge thing of
Mousel 2
speaking
wants
news.
to Yeah, there's one huge piece of news, but first Mousel 2 wants to share
No,
some,
go ahead
like,
and start with yours.
news.
You can start
Oh,
with yours. I feel like mine should end.
okay. Well, the big piece of news is that the Destiny is having its first preview sailing. So, if you don't know, the Destiny is the newest ship in the fleet of the three: Wish, Treasure, and Destiny. Not a lot of the Destiny, but like a decent amount of the Destiny is the same as some of the other two ships. And they've showed little bits and pieces of the new stuff, but I feel like there was a lot that they really didn't reveal until this preview sailing. So, we have now seen things like the Sanctum Bar and Lounge, which is the Doctor Strange one, the Pirates of the Caribbean Lounge, the Cruella Piano Bar, Edna Mode's Sweet Shop, and I
The
will
Dr.
say,
Facilier
uh,
thing.
yeah, the Dr. Facilier thing, the Lion King restaurant, everything I've seen, I mean, looks amazing. Of course it does. It's a brand new ship. It's going to be beautiful, but it looks really, really good. I'm excited to hopefully one day get to do it.
When I look at the content, because a bunch of our like friends are on there and things, I can literally smell that ship because I can
Me
smell
too.
the wish and the treasure. I can smell it. And the strongest like sensation I have about missing a ship is the smell of it. And I'm like, God, I could just smell this ship in the best way because they're pumping in a great smell, just to be clear. And I really want to do it. Even though the Destiny for me is probably the ship that has the least to do with it because I don't really care to do that Lion King that much because Lion King is kind of on my like no list right now because I've seen that show so many times. And then I don't care about Marvel, but something about it is really speaking to me. So I'm excited. There's a lot of
I
good
will say,
content. We'll probably talk about it more later too.
I will say, watching everything of the three ships in that fleet, I still think that the treasure will be my favorite.
Same. I definitely think
But,
so. I think Mouse at Sea will love that ship
but
because of the Marvel component.
I agree. And if you want to see stuff about this, we know lots of people that are on it right now. Carly Wiesel is on it. She's doing some really good coverage. I recommend looking at her if you're curious to seeing anything.
Yeah, I've been
It looks
living
really, really fun.
vicariously through her content.
Me too.
Okay, guys, my other kind of piece of newsy I want to talk about
This isn't
is
news. This isn't news. This is news to us.
no, it's not news to us. It's news. You might have heard the news that there's a new resort opening over by Fort Wilderness Campground, Wilderness Lodge. It's called the Lakeshore Lodge. Some news for you is they're building their new cabins. Anyway, no,
This isn't news.
we've been
Continue.
commenting on this for a lot of the news segments for the past couple of months, and we finally saw it in person. And I just want to say it is alarmingly close to the campground. So I'm excited to see how they kind of separate and make these two spaces different because we were standing at the dock for the for the campground and there was a cabin, I mean, maybe 10 feet away from us. So
They haven't said anything about this. I can only imagine that it's going to have to be some sort of like sister resort-esque relationship like Beach and Yacht Club. They haven't mentioned that at all, but like it's
I don't think it
literally on the
is.
campground property.
It's
It's
so close. So anyway, I just felt the need to say that because I told you guys a couple episodes ago I would keep you updated of some of the construction. And I know there's a couple of you there that were like, yes, you did. Everyone else is like, I don't think so.
Everyone else is
Um,
like, I don't care about this.
well,
But now let's get into our main topic. We are going to be talking about our trip. So we did so many like new slash unique things this trip. And that is really what we're going to be focusing on. If you want to see like every single thing we did, like a full recap of our day, go to our Instagram. Mouselet2 will have put highlights up by that point. So you can go watch and back and watch our story highlights. But we're
oh.
going to focus on like the new stuff, starting with checking in at Fort Wilderness, which actually Mouselet2 handled because she got there before me on the very first night.
So, yes, we stayed at Fort Wilderness Campground. There's a lot of things I think we'll mention being like, we gotta do a full episode on that. We gotta do a full episode on that. Fort Wilderness, we definitely need to do a full episode on. But I do want to kind of cover, we've never stayed here before. However, our family, surprisingly to many, you might not know this about us, we have a pop-up camper and our family went camping every year multiple times in our pop-up camper. Which is, if you don't know what a pop-up camper is, like Google it and you'll be like, what? Like, so we have some experience with camping. And one of the kind of things about camping is there's a lot of setup because like if you have an RV or you have a camper, I mean, God forbid you have a tent, you have to set it all up. You got to crank the pop-up camper. You got to get the coolers out, like get the bed set. So when you're going to camp, you always have to get there in the daylight. Like that's like 100%. Getting there at night, which we've did, I think, once or twice before with our family, disaster. Well, for this, we're staying at a cabin. So it's like, that wasn't even on my radar because it's not like we're setting up the cabin. No, God, it was tough. We show up. We've never really circulated around there. It's under construction, like the lobby. We kind of like finally find the lobby and we're like, okay, we're trying to find a place to park. I accidentally parked in like a do not park spot, but I just had to just deal with that. Then we go inside and it's like the lobby's under construction. It was just very, very chaotic. We had to then get a golf cart in the pitch black, and then we didn't know where our cabin was. So, like, I was driving the car. Mouselet A is driving the golf cart. We have to go find the cabin in like the pitch black, and then we have to unload our stuff, park. It was very, very chaotic. If you're staying in a cabin, it's not a must, but I certainly would recommend not arriving at nighttime. It was just challenging. And then Mouselet 1 and Mouselet C get dropped off, and I have to get in the car and go pick them up because their Uber couldn't take them to the cabin. All in all, it was just like a little bit chaotic, not because the cast members, just because of kind of the nature of how a campsite is laid out. That if you are staying there and you can arrive during the daylight or in the summertime when it's not dark at like 7 p.m., I would recommend doing so. So that's kind of my check in story.
We're going to talk a lot more about Fort Wilderness as we go, but now let's start with day one of our trip. We were at Magic Kingdom and we went to Crystal Palace for breakfast. We've done Crystal Palace for breakfast before, to be clear. Mouselet C and Mouselet A had not, though. And I feel like we hadn't really been there in like a bit, slash, like done, I don't know, done a meal there in a while. It was, honestly, it was very nice. We did say it's a price because it's a character breakfast, it's a pricier breakfast. And
Yes.
like you're paying for breakfast food. So,
I think
might
that's
not
kind
be
of our
worth it to
debate always with
everybody.
some of like the
Yeah.
buffets is like if I was there with my kids and my family and I was not going to Disney often and not just being like, let me do this new experience, it'd be fun to make content about, right? Would I pay for this? I think I would as a very once in a while thing. I think if I went every year, I would do this every like 5 years, like that type of vibe. But I really do like it. I think the character interactions are great. I think they have a huge variety of food. And I think if you go at like 10, again, that doesn't really work for kids. But if you don't have kids and you can kind of like do like a brunch, I feel like this is a great brunch vibe. If you have kids, that's maybe not possible. I don't think kids can really brunch, probably. We'll find out soon.
It is the only place at Disney World property that you can get a churro Mickey waffle, which are extremely good. You can get them on Disney Cruise Line also, but they're very, very good. That was like definitely a highlight for me. We had a really fun server. He was this Australian guy who was like joking around with Mouselet C. So like
I
that
also
made
see
it
it
a
was
lot of
said it
fun.
was his favorite
It was,
waiter
he
he's ever
loved
had.
it.
He loves it.
Yeah, he loved it. Obviously, like seeing the Pooh characters is just really fun. I feel like we don't really personally see them a lot. We tend to go to meet and greets with more like Mickey and stuff. So that was fun.
Wait,
We
this
did
is
have,
funny.
you
Are you talking about Piglet?
can talk about Piglet.
Yeah.
Guys,
So
Piglet was
Piglet was
giving Eeyore energy.
kind of Eeyore vibes. Piglet was a little bit like mellow, a little bit grumpy. He actually walked over. Piglet was kind of like, he was like kind of sad. And we were like, this is interesting. And then later we saw Piglet and Piglet was full of energy. So just needed a little pep in its
Yeah,
step.
Piglet took a break, came back, was feeling much
Much
better,
better.
sort of a new and improved Piglet, you could say. Had a lot of energy. But our Piglet, we were like, do you think you're Eeyore accidentally?
That's
It
not
was interesting.
but Crystal Bells is really fun.
Um,
It's so beautiful inside, and I do think it is if you haven't done it we've never done dinner there, FYI, but if you haven't done it and you're looking to do a character breakfast, I think this is a fun option. So, I would recommend.
it's also like a beautiful restaurant. It's very classic,
It's very, very
quintessential.
classy. The other thing we did
Um,
well oh, what?
I was going to say we're going to be talking a ton about food for this
To say
particular
this is
day,
a
so don't think that we're
gluttonous
like, yeah.
gluttonous day. Next up for lunch, we went to Beacon Barrel. This is the new pirate lounge. It opened up in Adventureland. It's kind of adjacent to the pirate gift shop in the old, what was that called? The Pirates something? We used to do like a pirate costumes as kids years ago before COVID. This is our first time trying it. We had two-person reservations because that's all we could get. And for me, looking back at it now, I would give it a 5 out of 10. I think the theming was excellent. They did a great job with the theming. It was really, really cool. It was really well done. But there are a couple of kind of like challenges with it. I can't think of a word that made it not quite as enjoyable. I'll let you tell one of them at least.
So again, we were at two-person reservations, so just keep that in mind. We each of us was then paired with separately two other groups. So Mouselet 2 was with two other groups. Me and Mouselet C were with two other groups. And we were each sat then at a giant table with those other groups. So for my table, the way that we were sat was me and Mouselet 2 were in a booth.
Oh, so let's
On
see.
my right was, sorry, me and Mouseless C were in a booth. On my left was a man, like a father, and then his two children, and his wife was at a little stool across the table. And on my right, or on Mouseless C's right, was an older woman and her husband, and then their adult son was across the table. So Mouseless C and I were literally squished next to each other in a booth between two families. The families
There
were
were
perfectly
9
nice.
people
We
at your
ended up
table,
chatting.
right?
Yes, yes. We ended up chatting with them a bunch. They were very nice, like no problems with the people. But like we were put in such an awkward seating arrangement where we quite literally had no choice but to pretend that we were a giant group with all these people and just talk to everyone the whole time, which just like wasn't necessarily what I needed. It was fine, but like I would have loved to just been able to talk to Mouse, let's see, and not be making chit chat with random strangers.
It was so my table, there were 6 of us plus a baby. So it was me and Mel today sitting on the stools, and then there were 2 couples sitting in the booth. So there was a young couple who had just gotten married, and they were sitting on one side, and then there was a mom and a dad who had a little baby, and the baby was sitting there too. No like high chair for the baby. The baby was just sitting, kind of like crawling around on the
How
bench.
old was the baby? How old
Pretty
was the
little. It was just
baby?
celebrating its 1-year birthday. So his name was
Okay.
Jackson. Happy 1 year. So Jackson
Happy birthday,
Happy
Jackson.
birthday, Jackson. There was absolutely no way to not speak to this table. Like you had to speak. I started off a little chaotic because a man in a wheelchair ran over my ornament in my bag. I was really frazzled by it.
Okay.
It wasn't his fault. The
That man
hallways are so
no,
tight.
that man in the wheelchair was at my table. It was like he was just being pushed in a manual wheelchair, and like
It wasn't
it
his
was
fault at all.
so
It was so
unbelievably
tight,
it was
but it was
so
like my
tight.
ornament
It was
got
so
caught under there, and I was like, my ornament," and so I was like, it was already a little chaotic, like, and I was like kind of frazzled and like slightly upset about that situation. And then my like our waitress was in the best way as she should be. Was very, very, very into being the pirate. Anyway, so we were all sitting there, and it's like at first we were all kind of trying to have separate conversations, and then it quite literally was not possible. Like, they would literally be like imagine you're, like, sitting across from someone and you're just kinda, like, turning. Like, it wasn't possible. We had to talk to them. And so we all chatted. We all basically chatted the whole time. They were fun. They were great. It was kinda like being on a Disney cruise when you sit with strangers. I enjoyed getting to know them. At the end of the day, would I rather have just talked to the people I traveled to Disney with? Yes. It still was
so
fine, but
there are two-person tables. I saw plenty of two-person tables. There are four-person tables. Again, we just couldn't get a four-person reservation. It's like luck of the draw. Also, there's some places that are only standing room.
they did
Yes.
try to seat us together. We had two-person reservations, like 5 minutes after one another, and the woman said, "Oh, I could probably get you at a table together," which would have been like one of those tables, right, with like 2 other people. But then they literally seated me and Mel so fast that they couldn't. If again, it was fine, but there were 6 people at my table plus the baby. Oh, the other thing about the baby is there are not that many kid-friendly things on it, so the baby was, like, screaming its head off. Jackson was screaming its head off. He was so hungry, and he finally got some seawater in a glass cup, this baby. I don't know how he was drinking it. I wish I had watched. I guess actually, I don't know, like, an eyedropper? I actually have no idea how he was drinking. Can babies drink from a cup? He
I
spilled the entire
he's
cup
not
of
really a
water all over
baby,
the
but,
table,
like
okay? He spilled it everywhere. He was screaming his head off. He finally eating chips, and that made him feel a little bit better. And they were like, "Oh, there's not really too much for kids here." So that was one of the things they said. Um, my
okay,
other
but wait, quickly to finish the seating thing. I
uh,
would just say, like, just know going in, you could be at a private table with just your group. You could be in a standing area with others. You could be seated at a giant table with others. It's kind of luck of the draw, and, like, I really did not love that. Oga's does that too. At Oga's, it feels I don't know, the way that Mouselets and I were sat was just really weird, and, like, that was when I first got there, I was like, "Should we just leave?" Like, because I just really did not I felt so weird just sitting with these random strangers.
it was yeah, Oga's something about Oga's kind of works a little bit with that. I don't feel the need to talk to other people really at Oga's. This one, literally, there was no option. The other thing that kind of wasn't my favorite about this is now a Beacon Barrel episode, was it was 45-minute max. You have 45 minutes there. My waitress, again, she was amazing. So like I'm not gonna knock her at all. She was amazing, but she rushed us because she had to so much. She came over, we had sat down, my ornament has been run over. There's menus on the table already. I have not even looked at the menu. And she goes, "All right, what does everyone want?" In like a whole pirate bit. And we were like, "Oh, first the couple with the baby, they're like, we haven't had a chance to look at the menu." The engaged couple and married couple, they'd already looked, so they knew what they wanted. And I was like, "Oh, I need a minute." And she like stood there for like 10 seconds. She's like, "Okay, what do you want?" And so we were like, we hadn't looked at the menu. So you really need to look at the menu before. And then she goes, "I'll be back in like 5 or 10 minutes. Like, you really need to put your order for your second drink then, or else you won't have time to have two drinks." And so then like
Because at and I this did not happen to our table, but I saw our waiter go to another table and say, "I'm so sorry, guys, your time is up." Like, they are strict on the 45 minutes, so they wanna make sure that you can get what you want. So they basically need to take your order the second you walk in, but it's, like, it's hard.
it's hard, and then, like, half of her she was speaking in such, like, pirate, like, shanty language that, like, I couldn't really get. I have a hard time. I think I'm losing my hearing. Guys, I have a hard time
That is true. This is a you problem only.
understanding
This is a you problem.
understanding waitresses and waiters specifically of any type that, like, when I'm sitting there, sometimes they'll say something, and Mouse at one will be like, they ask if you want fries. I'm like, "Oh." Like, I can't. Mouse A has to
Yeah,
give it to
guys,
me
so
too.
don't worry about this part. This will not affect you. This is
"Oh,
a
well,
Mouselet 2 only problem.
uh, um" Anyway, with her, like, pirate accent and her, like, pirate, like, shanty language and, like, using things and, like, it was loud in there. My ornament had been run over. I was really struggling to keep up with her. The
I
drinks
will
were
say
good. The f
the other people at my table ordered some food, and it actually looked really, really good. It was
I got food.
like a hummus chips platter. Yeah, but I wish once I saw them get the food, I was like, "Oh, shoot, I kinda wish we'd ordered that." But it was clearly like the ship has sailed. Like, no pun
Yeah.
intended. It
Uh-huh.
was just like, "It's too late. You missed the opportunity to order food. You have to leave soon. You can't." Which was a bummer.
We got I got an arepa. It was okay. I love arepas. That one was only okay. Our table got all 3 foods. Um, we liked the stuff. It was good. There was a drink that the married couple got at our table, and the waitress was like, "Do you like smoky, like, tequila?" Whatever it was, because, like, it's strong, and
Mezcal, I'm sure. Oof.
yeah, and he's like, "Yeah, yeah," and she's like, "Okay, do you like it?" And the other guy got it too. And then she came over and she's like, "Try it." She's like, "'Cause if you don't like it, like, it's okay." And he tried it. He goes, "It's great." And she walked away and he goes, "I hate it so much, but I didn't want to tell her." So, which is funny. And
I
then
mean, mezcal's a
literally,
really particular thing.
I don't know anything about alcohol. And then literally she's like, "Okay, fortunately, like, it's time to go." And then we, like, kinda stuck around longer, and she literally came and was like, "You have to leave." And the guy was like, "We're gonna leave in a minute." She's like, "No, I'm sorry, like, you must leave." So,
Yeah,
all
they
in
don't have a
all,
choice.
the theming was fun, but it was chaotic. The seating arrangement wasn't great. The time limit, which I understand why they need, but I wish it was an hour or something. That wasn't my favorite. And I
Okay,
don't
wait,
think
good
that
things though. They have, like, a fun little parrot who comes out and does little bits, almost like
yeah,
Trader
he's
Sam's
funny.
if you've been there. there's like a thunderstorm that's happening or like they have the parrot saying stuff. That part is really cool. Granted, where we were seated, we couldn't really see him that well, but like that idea is really fun. The details in the bar are very immersive and very cool. It like definitely feels like you're in a ship. The drinks, I really liked the drink that I had. I had no complaints about it. Okay, not sure if there was a little blip there. My power just went out. Anyways, I'm back and I believe that I was saying they do not have an open bar. Just something to note. But moving on. Honestly, perfect time to wrap up Beacon Barrel.
Perfect
Would
time
you
to
go
wrap
back?
up Beacon Barrel. Hoop to do review. That was the last thing we did on day one. We're going to cover this more in a Fort Wilderness campground episode, but this is our second time doing Hoop to do review. This is a special dinner show that they have at the campground. It's reservations. Anyone can do it. You don't have to be staying at the campground. There are 3 shows a night. It is so much fun. It's really, really unique. And I really especially like doing it because we were at the campground and we were like in that environment. I thought it was good. I thought the food was good. The show was good. I want to cover it more in depth like later, especially some history, but any kind of quick thoughts on it?
I will say it's something to me that like it's almost something that I'm like surprised that Disney still has, even
Yeah,
though it is
me too.
super popular. So like why would they get rid of it? But it's just like not the type of thing that would ever be created now. And so therefore I love that they still have it,
It feels like the
which
old
is
days
super
of
fun.
Disney. It's very like kitschy in the best way. And it's like they just my thing about Disney, it's like everything is commercialized these days, and this is not. They would never put this somewhere else. They would never bring this to another park. It's great because it's been there forever and it's so like niche. It's really fun. We'll cover it more later, but I really enjoyed it, and it was a small peach for me. But let's get into day 2, continuing with Fort Wilderness. I did a Segway tour in the morning, and I show up to get breakfast before the Segway tour. The mobile order system went down. So I'd been waiting for 40 minutes. It was kind of chaotic. The reason that's important to the Segway tour is that we got there we got there right on time, but like you're supposed to be there
You got
early.
there like 30 seconds after it started. Yeah.
He was like closing the door. I was like, wait, because you have to watch their safety stuff. So we almost missed it. It didn't help that there was like a detour in place at the campground to like get to the bike barn, but it was really, really fun. We've done it. We've done it before once. And back in 2019, it was me, Mouselets, and 2 other people. So it was only 4 people on the tour, which is pretty small. The other couple had done a Segway tour before at Gettysburg. This is all important to the story I'm about to tell. And when you get out there, you watch this whole safety video, then you do a whole training course. And the training course, you kind of have to like pass it to not, or to be able to go out and actually ride around, right? And so one of the things she said is like, don't hit the fence. We kind of graduated to going on like this miniature like off-road course. She goes, don't hit the fence. And the older man hit the fence. I actually didn't see it. Mouse and one
So
did.
Mouselet C and I were watching and we saw, and the thing is, it is very clear that they want you to be able to go out on the course and they are going to fail you, in their words, if you are like purposely misbehaving and intentionally like, be messing around, not being safe. Obviously, this old man was trying his absolute hardest. He made a little mistake. Okay,
And
and he went
poor,
flying into
he
the
like
fence.
his
And he
wheels
kept being
clipped it.
like,
His wheels
"Oh,"
clipped it.
and he kept being like, "I just took the turn a little too hard. Like I
He
just
was
took the,"
so
because he
sad he
was
wouldn't be
so
able to
worried that
go.
they were gonna fail him. But the woman had said earlier in the safety demonstration, she said, if you do something on this training course, if you hit something on the training course, and then you hit something out in the actual path, then that's on me. And I never should have let you go out there in the first place because I knew you were potentially going to hit something. Guys, this old man did hit something out on the actual course, and it was the woman, it was the instructor herself.
So
Okay, he
this
was trying his best.
and let me be clear, when we did this with our parents, with Mama and Papa Mouselet in 2019, so Mama Mouselet was 6 age reveal. Mama Mouselet was 60. She maybe 59. She was that makes me sad. I'm sick. She was in her 50s. She was
Stop.
so nervous. And they almost didn't let her go because they were like, if you're this nervous, then you're not gonna be able to do it out there. So they want to just make sure you're safe. Disney's like obsessed with safety. It's all about safety. And so one of the things that they were really clear on is like, how do you get on and how do you get off? Because when you get on, you can get on pretty slowly. You put one foot on and then the other, whatever. To get off, you have to get off pretty quick. 1, 2, with momentum. Okay. Otherwise, your whole thing will spin out of control. Okay, so this older gentleman did not get off with momentum. He put one foot down and his Segway started like spinning out of control and it hit the poor instructor lady so hard in the shin. And she was like bleeding. She was scuffed up. There was blood, but it wasn't like pouring blood, covered in dirt. I'm sure it literally killed. She was had such grace about it. She was like, it's okay. And she got it. She like gained control of the situation as if like she got hurt in front of a kid and was like, it's okay because you don't want to like scare the kid. I'm sure she was like, we went into Tricircle D Ranch. And then after that, every time he got on and off, she like gripped his Segway and helped him. Um, it wasn't like his fault. It was just like, you have to learn how to do it. You absolutely can do this tour. Papa Mouselet did this tour at like about the same age as this man. It was he was totally fine. I think this guy just like was in his head after crashing into the fence and his wife was unfazed. She didn't care at all. She was like, oh.
She was unfazed when he hit the fence too. She was like, "I'm continuing on in my circles."
She's like, if you
Clearly,
can't do it, that's
maybe he's a
okay.
little clumsy. Yeah.
But it was really, really
I'm still
fun.
going.
It was really fun. It was definitely worth it. The last thing I'll say about it before we get into what Mouselet 1 was doing while we were doing this is that Mouselet A, my partner, is a nervous gnarl, as we like to call her. That's kind of a Mouselet's term.
I mean,
Nervous
yeah, it's a nurse Nelly, but we call it a gnarl. And guys,
gnarl.
I just need to say, as an external perspective, she's an extreme nervous gnarl. Okay, like double checking every lock like 100 times to the point that it's kind of like, "Are you okay?" Anyways,
When we leave our house, she goes, even if we haven't had the stove on, she goes and has to fan her hands over all the burners. Anyway, she's a nervous person. It makes her very careful, and
is
there's a
she
lot of
okay?
pros.
We'll see. Yeah.
There's a lot of pros to it. Um, she was very nervous the whole time. She was very nervous. And so for her, she felt like the whole 2 hours she was very nervous and she didn't get to enjoy it as much. For me, I felt like my Segway couldn't go as fast as the instructors because it couldn't. And so I couldn't keep up. And so I kept trying to go faster and my Segway was like fighting me on it. And so I almost got flipped off. And at one point because it was like, I was trying to lean forward. And so it was trying to get me to stop doing that. So it was tipping back so much that I almost literally jumped off of it at one point out of panic. Good thing I didn't. But um,
No, good thing you didn't. Let's be clear.
I was
I just
like,
want to say
I
I
was
haven't done
this
this
close
tour
to
in
doing it.
6 years, but when I did it 6 years ago, I don't remember feeling any sort of nerves nor need to jump off my
Same, but the
Segway.
instructor was just going fast, I think it was hard to keep up with her. All in all, it was so much fun and it was an amazing way to see the campground. But we also got to see the campground through our golf cart, which Mouse One we'll talk about.
So when they were on the Segway tour, I watched the beginning part like of all of their training and stuff. But then obviously once they were out on the actual pads, we were not with them. And people always say that one of the benefits of staying at Fort Wilderness during the holidays, either the Christmas holidays or like the Halloween season, is that people who are staying there decorate their campsites, which is so fun. So Mouseless C and I decided to drive the golf cart around and do a little tour of a bunch of the loops and look for it. And we saw so much fun Christmas decor. People literally bring like giant blow up, things. There was like a huge Star Wars scene. There were Whoville scenes. There were tons of Mickey and Minnie ones. It was really, really fun. And I think as you get closer and closer and closer to the holidays, that
We'll
gets
go
like
more and
even
more and
bigger and
more all
better.
out.
And I know that I think one day a year for Halloween and one day a year for Christmas, they do a special Fort Wilderness like parade through the campsite to see things. People decorate their golf carts. I highly recommend if you're going to staying here during one of those seasons and spending some time doing that because it was
Our
just like really cute
instructor
and so unique.
on the Segway tour said that if you want to see it like go all out, do either 4th of July, Halloween, or Christmas, because those are the seasons people are going to go all out for. It was really, really fun to see. Mouselet One then knew like all the hot spots of the best sites. So then me and Mouselet A got kind of like a highlights tour, which was really fun too. I think if we ever went again, I would try to bring some sort of decor because I just think it would be fun. I love the vibe. It's like literally
Yeah.
feels like a slower like way of life. And so the reason that we did our like downtime day at Fort Wilderness is because we had Jollywood that night. And so we were like just able to chill during the day. And I think that was, I mean, I woke up really early and worked out for some reason, but so then I was tired. But I feel like it was a really good way to do it because then we went to Jollywood, which we can do some highlights of that as well. Pits and Peaches?
So we've obviously
Perhaps?
talked about Jollywood a ton. We're going to do some pits and peaches, but I would say our overall recap, as expected, we absolutely loved this event. We would highly recommend to people. Again, we did a whole episode about it a couple weeks ago, but like any of the kinks that have happened in the past, mostly we're not there at this point.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good event. But let's go through our pits and peaches. So my peach, we're going to start with peaches. My peach was the Tip Top Club. The Tip Top Club is an area outside of Tower of Terror where they have like a jazz band come out and perform. When that jazz band is
You like jazz?
performing, they have two like ghost people dressed as ghosts who are dancers come out to do dancing, bring people out onto the dance floor, and then in the off times when the band isn't performing, they have like Streetmosphere out, and it is just such a vibe. It's
Mouselets lore.
Talk about Chip and Cookie and what we call Chip.
so last year the same two ghost dancers whose character names are Chip and Cookie. Chip is the man, Cookie is the woman. The same dancers were there last year, and Chip looks just like Benchlandia Taryn's husband. And so to us, Chip is her husband. His name is Cameron.
Cameron.
And so we literally were sending her pictures being like, Cameron's here. She was dancing with Chip last year. So we love Chip and Cookie. And this year, Cookie came right up to us and she said, there was nobody on the dance floor. The set had like just started. And she was like, you guys look like you're ready to dance. Like, come on. Are you coming out? And we were like, oh, ha, ha, Cookie. And she was like, okay, no, but like, come on, come to the dance floor. So we spent the whole set dancing out on the dance floor. Again, in the off times, they have these other Streetmosphere actors. This year, it was like a bellhop and a maid who worked at the Tower of Terror. It's just so immersive to me. It's so quintessential. I love dancing. The woman, we said this before, the woman who sings in the band is like the prettiest person I've ever seen in my life. She's so talented
Yeah,
and beautiful.
it's so fun and it's such a vibe and it just feels like such like a curated, someone hates when I say this, but an intimate Disney experience that you just don't have on like a regular park day, don't you think?
Yes, it's so much fun. So for me, that was my peach. You have to spend some time there. And if you're going to spend time there, catch the whole set and go out on the dance floor. Don't be shy because it's so fun.
Yeah. That's like so Jollywood in general. It's like it's what you make of it. If you're just standing in the back, you'll be like, oh, okay. I mean, you'll probably still enjoy it, but like it's really fun to go out and dance. My peach One of my peaches every single year 1, year 2, both times, year 3 is the outfits we do. It's just really fun to get like dressed up and like we do special, I don't know, we always make videos, which is fun, but we just spend time getting dressed up in like a special costume and it just creates like an ambiance that I walk in and I'm like in the mood to like be at Jollywood. But I think one of my favorite things this year, which was new, was they had this adorable little baby droid out in Galaxy's Edge and we had like it was like minutes long character interaction with it where you're talking to him. It was so fun. It was so special and it was so different. And again, it's like, it's not something they can really have during regular park hours because it would just be a crazy long line and just too many guests. So I thought that was really special. That was one of my many peaches. What's your pet?
Okay, so my pit was last year. One of my peaches was the Pixar dance party. This year, I will say the Pixar Dance Party goes from when the event starts at 7:30 until 9:30, and then it takes a break until, because of the fireworks, it takes a break till 10:30 and goes from 10:30 to 12:30. This happened to us last year too. The time that we want to go to the Pixar Dance Party is always like basically when it's about to go on break, just because of sort of the way that we do the night. So we got there probably like just before 9:15. So we're like, okay, we'll have like 15-ish minutes there. Unfortunately, it was dead as a doornail at the Pixar dance party. Like they were all weirdly standing in a circle when we got there. I think they had just done some character thing. I'm not really sure. But like the way it was set up, also, they had this cool entrance with these bubbles, which is fun, but it meant that everybody was standing back there to like see the bubbles. People weren't really on the dance floor. It just wasn't really a vibe this year for us in that exact moment. And that was sad because in the past, like I had loved that dance party.
I agree. I think if it had gone at a different time, it maybe would have been just the way it worked out. It was not as much a vibe. It's like the Pixar dance party itself isn't a pit. It's just like when we experienced it was a pit. I
Because
think
we
my
always go like right before it's going to close. Yeah. We needed to go
my
back.
pit was the
Anyways.
fact that prepping for Jollywood, we didn't want to do a bunch of rides. Oh, I changed my pit because of the comment, which I'll tell in a minute. My pit was that we had prepped, just you guys wait. We had decided that we didn't want to do a lot of rides during Jollywood because there's so much to do. And so we thought we'd get there around 3, despite some, fake news out there. Someone said it started at 9 p.m. Jollywood. It actually starts at 7:30.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
Guys, I accidentally said that. Boo, bet. Boo. Okay, I said that. Starts at 7:30, FYI. We were going to start at 3, and I was like, perfect. I'll get us multi-pass, Genie Plus, however you want to call it. It's multi-pass now, but in case you don't know that terminology, but we'll go do a bunch of lightning lanes. Well, we didn't get there at that time. Then we had other stuff we were doing, filming a dance. And so then I was like, oh my God, I paid $32 a person for these lightning lanes. We're going to go freaking ride these rides. So we only did Rockin' and Tower. We didn't do Mania, which I'd booked, and we didn't do anything else with it either. Absolute waste of money. Never should have bought that. It did help because the lines were so long at that time. So I'm glad we got to do those. But that was kind of stressful for me. I was going to tell a pit about this whole other thing where we were trying to find this location,
I
whatever
will
else.
tell it. I'll
I'll
tell in a brief.
no, I'll
I'll
tell
tell in
you.
a
I
bridge
need to
story.
read what it says. I need to read what it says. It says, I said, Mouselet 2 pit, me, the market. Mouselet 1 left a comment in our spreadsheet that said, tell the story about Mouselet 2 being a sass monster. I say, like, squeeze me?
Okay, guys, here's the thing. We were looking at the Jollywood Nights food guide, right? And it's listed by different places. So it's like Tune In Lounge, whatever. One of the places just said market, which is so nondescript. And if you don't know, the pretty much whole left side of Sunset Boulevard is called the Sunshine Ranch Market, but it's broken up into different places. There's Rosie's, there's Catalina Eddie's, whatever.
Sunset.
And so, what?
The sunset.
Oh, okay. Anyways, Sunset Ranch Market. Sorry, guys. Anyways, so I said, this is so confusing. Like, where in this market would it be? And Mouse 2 was an absolute sass monster.
I
No other way
wasn't.
to describe it.
No, I
She was
wasn't.
a
I
sass
wasn't, you
monster
guys.
and told me,
No.
obviously, it's right here. This is the market. And I was like, but this whole thing is the market. And other things were broken out, like at Catalina Eddie specifically.
May I interject?
Yes?
You implied
No.
that it was in that market. Okay, had she just looked at the guide, it literally said Animation Courtyard, the market.
No, it
Had
didn't.
you
No, it didn't.
That's weird
I'm
because
going
when
to
I
pull it
looked
up
at
and
it, it
show
did.
you.
Oh, did you pull it up
Okay.
online?
Okay, no, I was in the app. I was in the app that the QR code linked to. Anyways, guys, the market is the Joffrey stand by like the Pixar area.
Actually, the
But
stand next
we
to the Joffrey
literally
stand.
we went to every single like little quick service place in the Sunset Ranch Market. We asked multiple cast members. It
And
was
they
the
were
first
all
night
like,
of the
"Oh,
party.
they had
They
no
would all
idea."
send us to the next one. They would all send us. We were like bopping around. Anyways, that was a pit. Okay, another pit, which we did not mention, but we've chatted about this a lot. In years past, we have absolutely loved these really fun, like video photo pass things that they do.
Oh, this is my pet. This
Because
is my pet. This is my pet.
yeah, I know you were like so sad about, you were more sad about this than
They
me.
have these
I
really
think
fun
just because of the
videos that
structure of
everyone.
the park. Oh,
Oh, they have
I
these
think
really
just
fun. We
because
have
of the
to give some
structure of the park,
context to
they
what
took
they
them
are.
away.
No, no, no. We have to give some context to what they are before people know what they people don't know. There are these videos that you can make, and they had these special like crews come in. They would have these huge cameras, and they would do these almost like highly produced type videos for you, and then they would give them to your photo pass, and they were so special and so fun. And the years before, they were in the Muppet store, Studio 31, whatever that store was called, and then the store by Little Mermaid. Both of those stores are currently under construction. Now you may continue.
Okay, so
Also, you're
they
on a
didn't have them
delay.
this
Let
year.
it be known you're very delayed for me, so your video and your mouth is at a different time. So if it sounds like I'm interrupting you, it's because you're delayed because you lost
You are.
power.
Anyways, so they took them away this year. They didn't have a guide to what photo pass spots were what, so we were kind of walking around like hoping we'd see them. Eventually, we found like clearly a higher up cast member, and we asked, and they said they didn't have them this year. That was a bummer because we've really enjoyed those in years past. So I'd say that was a pit. But other than that, overall, the event there was an extra little dance party this year over by like Star Tours. That was actually so fun. The guy like pulled us in and we were dancing with them. Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam, the fireworks show is like one of our favorites.
Always
It's such a
love.
classic. We once again loved the Brown Derby. Everything, the Glisten show was amazing. We did not see the variety show, which I'm sad about. But like everything we did was just so, so fun. It's such a vibe. Again, it does need to kind of be a little bit like what you make of it. There's a lot of kind of like interactive dance moments, but we loved it.
It was a lot of fun.
Final.
If you guys have questions about Jollywood, Pit and Peach Crew, you can submit it on our Patreon. If you want to be able to ask listener questions and things or hear more about it, you can join our Patreon, the Pit and the Peach Crew. But next up, day 3, we've one more day after that, everybody, just so you know, was Epcot. And I feel like when we go to Epcot, sometimes we're like in a routine that we're like, we're going to do this and then we're going to do this. And we kind of do the same thing. And this time, we kind of just somehow ended up doing some different stuff. So I'll kind of start out with one of my peaches, which was Test Track. A pit was that it broke down twice while we were on it. But a peach in general was the fact that I think I might be one of the new Test Track's biggest fans. I love the new Test Track. It's my favorite ride in the park, other than maybe Living with the Land. I think it's so good. I think it's so fun. Um, and I got to take Mouselet A and Mouselet C on it, and it was a blast. It did break down twice, but it was really, really fun. So that was a peach for me as well as a pit because it broke down.
The another peach, that was not a peach for me because I did not get to ride it, but another peach is that we went to the Seas Pavilion, which we often do. We like to see the manatees there. The manatees actually weren't out. And so we were like just going to leave, but we ended up being like, let's go in the area with the little fish, which we never go in. And it was so random, but we had so much fun looking at like the little seahorses and all these little fish in the smaller tanks in a room that we literally never go in. And it just reminded me that there's always something new at Disney. There's always something, some little thing that you haven't explored that can actually be so much fun. We spent like 30 minutes in the room looking at those little fish.
And I feel like just sometimes at the sea is like the tanks are kind of like dingy and I'm like, meh, but the seas were so bright. And we went to the big ones too. There were really disgusting eels that we had to avoid. Those were really repulsive and awful. I
We
like
hate eels. We hate eels.
I hate eels. But all in all, it was really, really fun. And it was something different and just like even Mouselet, I enjoyed it. And sometimes like she doesn't like stuff like that. I just feel like we got to slow down and like do that. Um, Other than that, honestly, we didn't do as much food and wine as kind of usual. I felt like we kind of flew through Epcot a little bit, and that's because we had something kind of special is that Disney Parks actually hosted us at Cirque du Soleil at Disney Springs. And so that was something totally new for us. We've never been to Cirque du Soleil, and I really, really liked it. We have a full reel up of it if you want to kind of see like true deep dive into it, but I thought it was really cool and really unique. Thoughts?
I would say the whole time that I was watching the show, I kept just thinking to myself, the word to describe this experience is amazing, in that I am quite literally amazed. Like,
Yeah.
I am amazed by the talent that these people have and the things that they are doing. It was so cool. It is like a custom show for Disney. And so there's like a whole Disney animation tie in with lots of like drawn Disney characters, which is really fun. But literally, just the performers themselves were so impressive. It
Yeah.
was a really fun. It was an hour and a half show. It like flew by because it was so good. I would
It was
absolutely
so
go
good.
back.
I think Papa Mouselet and Mama Mouselet and Mouselet 3 would, like, be obsessed with it. It was
Love it.
so different. Looking at prices, it is kind of like, I wouldn't say like an investment, but you're paying for this special experience. So I would say make the most of it, do stuff at Disney Springs after, kind of build your day around that because it was really cool. And we actually did that because we went to a Disney Springs restaurant called Summer House after that. It was our first time ever there. We never really go to Disney Springs. I thought it was good, Summer House. People really, really like it. I thought it was good. I thought it was a solid option.
Same. I know it's like they're very much known for their brunch, which we obviously did not do. They're also very known for their cookies, which if you don't want to
Cookies.
sit down at Summer House, you can get a cookie from like their cookie bar, a little like kind of grab and go area. The cookies were the highlight for me of the meal. The cookies were really, really good.
Yeah.
But it was a fun time to get to finally try that restaurant. I feel like it's been on our list for a while.
Yeah, I really liked it, and after that, we walked around Springs, not too much because unfortunately Mouse One was feeling kind of sick, so we kind of flew through stuff, but I thought it was really fun, so
Okay, last day, guys. So we were at Animal Kingdom in the morning and we did something new to us. We tried the breakfast at Satuli Canteen. And this was actually really good. It's not a super extensive menu, but I feel like each of the items on the menu is very unique. And we had tried all three and they were really good.
yeah, it
We
was
tried
really
all
good, and we
four.
also got an ube coffee, and Mouse 1, Mouse C, and Mouse A loved it so much they got 2, so
It was it was so good. It was like an amazing coffee. We also saw the new Zootopia show, which replaced It's Tough to Be a Bug. It was listed as a 40-minute wait and it was a 10-minute wait, so that was amazing. And
that got
we've
a
seen some
lot
mixed
of
reviews.
criticism. Yeah, a lot of, like, kind of other creators did not like it because they thought it didn't really have a storyline. They thought it was kind of sporadic. We loved it. Honestly, I thought it was great. I loved it because it was something new that finally brought some life into the park. I thought the kids were laughing and having a great time. I thought it was really well done. I have I don't really have anything negative about it. Was my biggest kind of thing about Disney, and I say this a lot, is that like, and you say it too, not everything that they build at Disney can be this top tier e-ticket attraction. Like, not everything should be that and can be that. They need to mix in a variety of things. I think this is a solid B2C ticket experience that the park needs.
Same. There's one animatronic in it, which is the Clawhauser, like cheetah. The animatronic is so impressive. The way that they use the screens to make it look like you're actually watching a show on a stage, so impressive. Like the animation is so good. Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde are in it in like a very fun storyline. You get to see a ton of characters. You need smaller attractions that move quickly, like eat up crowds, for lack of a better word. It's Tough to Be a Bug didn't do that in the end. There was never anybody waiting for it. I think families are going to love this, and Animal Kingdom needs family stuff.
And, like, yes, am I an Animal Kingdom purist? In many ways, yes. Like, the mixing IP, the Zootopia fit. I hate that they redid the Tree of Life. This is a story for another day. I hate they redid the Tree of Life backstory. But in general, this is a great option, and this is what that park needs. I want to move on to what we did for the rest of the day, but I do want to say that we were at Animal Kingdom. It was so busy because it's Jersey week, and there's a lot of like international travelers here, and it's Veterans Day,
It was
and
insanely busy.
it was
It
so
was
busy.
insane.
And we were just like, Everest was down. We're just like, zoot. There's not a
I
lot to do.
mean I mean, yeah, because like, think, Dino Land is closed. Everest was down literally the entire time that we were there. Cali River Rapids is seasonally closed at this time every year, so there was no Cali River Rapids.
Dinosaur
Like,
is
there just
open, but it had
wasn't
like a 70-minute wait. So no, not doing that.
there's just like not enough to eat up again that many people into attractions and stuff. So wait times were just really long and it was really busy. So we did go to Magic Kingdom for a little bit. I actually had an amazing time at Magic Kingdom. That was the very last park that I went to. That was when I was sort of feeling very emo and everything, but we didn't do anything special there. So we're going to move on to going to the Grand Floridian very quickly. Do you want to start with the bar or with the spa?
We can start with the bar. There's a new bar that they opened up in, I don't remember the name of it. Do you? The
Nope.
Perch, maybe?
The
Couldn't tell
perch, the
you.
perch, the perch,
The new bar
the perch.
in the lobby of the Grand. Another thing that got mixed reviews. I'm always willing to criticize Disney. Like I never feel like I have to be like yesing everything. I'm gonna yes this one. I thought it was great. I don't know why people don't like it. I thought it was amazing. I thought it looked amazing. I thought it was fun. I thought it was the exact perfect thing for something that's just a subtle addition and doesn't have to be so over the top. I loved it.
I agree. It's so pretty. So it is themed after there used to be like a giant bird cage there. It's sort of themed after that bird cage, but turned into a bar. It's very Victorian. Mouselet 2 looks crazy right now if you're watching a
My
video,
guys, I'm sitting
cracking her
sideways on a
neck.
toilet. My back started to give out.
But it looks beautiful with this like old wood. It's very Victorian. Something that I was worried about, and I actually don't know if Mouselet 2 knows this part. Something that I was worried about is there's not a lot of seat status. So I was like, oh, that's kind of a bummer. But did you know that you can order a drink from anywhere in the lobby and they'll bring it to you anywhere that you're sitting, which I love. They have servers walking around.
I did notice that
And I
because I
thought
saw
that that was just like, yeah, so immersive and so fun. The one thing is we did look at it's once again not an open bar. It's like you have to order from what's on the menu. There's only two cocktails. There were a bunch more wines and stuff like that, but there are only two cocktails and one mocktail. So it's not like an extensive menu. But the Enchanted Rose is upstairs if you want an extensive menu. If you want just like a casual drink, listening to the piano, it was perfect. I
it
loved it.
reminds me of the Swan and Dolphin or the Dolphin lobby kind of. I just feel like the Grand Lobby kind of just needed something that just like that adds something to it. I feel like the Grand Lobby was kind of stuffy and stale in a bad way. I saw people saying like it shouldn't be a bar, it should be a coffee bar, which I'm like, I get that in some ways, but I just think it creates an ambiance and a vibe. I thought it was great. And I loved that it was a brown wood. I thought that brown wood looked amazing. So see what you think about it, guys, when
Me
you go in
too.
person. A lot of mixed reviews from people, but we were fans. After that at the Grand, I did the spa, and we got so many questions about this on Instagram and on TikTok that I feel like what we'll do is we'll do a podcast episode kind of about like some of the more like higher level, higher cost experiences we've done at Disney. If you're looking to do something special, because there's a lot to say, but all in all, let me just say we got two 50-minute massages and it was amazing. It was so fun and definitely as like a splurge, a must do for me. But there's too much to talk about. It would be like this would become a Beacon Barrel / spa episode. But if you have questions about the spa, also let us know. Happy to answer. But I think we'll do a longer episode on it.
So, for today's special segment, we're keeping with the theme of the trip, and we're going to talk a little bit about my being pregnant in Disney experience. So, I
I'm
have
going
been
to kind of
pregnant.
interview her about it, but give some background.
So, I found out that I was pregnant, if you have been following along, the day that we were leaving for Disneyland Paris. So, I was like 4 weeks pregnant in Disneyland Paris. Then I went to Disney in August at like the literal first week of my second trimester, very end of the first trimester. And then this time I turned 26 weeks during the trip. And so I just want to preface this by saying our family's mindset is very, very much if there's a will, there's a way. Like we are very much like, if I want to do something, I will just simply figure out how to do that thing. This applies to so many, so many, so
I
many
can
different
do
things. So
anything
when
I want always. Everything I want in life is attainable. And not only is it attainable, I will have it. That's kind of how our family lives, for better or for worse.
and I Yeah, and honestly, I highly recommend adopting this mindset because if you just tell yourself that if you try hard enough, you can do the thing, you will be surprised at how much you have accomplished. That is a huge reason why the Mouselets is what the Mouselets now is. But so, anyways, that's kind of our family's mindset. And when I was going into this trip, a lot of people were asking, like, oh my gosh, are you nervous? You're going to be there pregnant. And I was just kind of like, no, it'll be fine. Like, I would like to be there and I would like to be there feeling fine. So I will just simply be there and feel fine. Pregnancy is maybe a little bit different in that I can't just sort of put my mind to it. So I will say it was a little harder than I
I
maybe
have
thought.
5 questions for you. We're going to do like a little mini quick fire interview type thing. Okay, number one, 6 months pregnant. Hypothetically, if you didn't have to fly, do you think if you had more like baby, more baby in your belly, however you want to say it, do you think you could go at 7 months, 8 months, 9 months? Like at what point do you think is kind of your limit? Or do you think like basically this was it and in a month, ignoring the flight thing, right? Like if you're a local in a month, like you couldn't do it. That's question number one.
I would say if you rented a scooter and were really like planning around it, taking breaks and stuff, I could probably do it for another month or so. However, I was thinking again, like, oh, if I ever have another kid and I'm pregnant again, I wouldn't really go much past where I am now. Like, it was just getting to the point where I am uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable in the clothes you have to wear in Florida. I'm uncomfortable in how swollen and gigantic I feel. I'm uncomfortable moving around that much. I'm uncomfortable waking up early and going to bed late. Like, it's just not conducive for it. If you really, really, really want to go, like, I think you could, but it wouldn't be at the top of my list. And I love Disney,
Que-
obviously.
Question two, what is the biggest symptom you feel like you experienced? Because a lot of people, I think I know which one it is. A lot of people were saying that, which I don't think this is yours, that their back and to get like a belt for your back and that their back was the biggest thing. But I think it was your feet and your ankles.
It was my feet. So
Yeah.
something interesting is that in my pregnancy in general, my feet have, like, hurt a lot, like, clearly just the way that my balance has shifted, like, when I'm standing for a long time or something, I'm like, "Oh my god, I feel like I need a foot massage," like, my feet really hurt,
I will say you
um,
do wear flip
and
flops and not sneakers. So if you wore running shoes, you probably feel a lot better. But carry on.
but I wore sneakers at Jollywood.
Flat soled
I
though.
But my back hurts sometimes, like, especially when we were walking long ways, I was like, "Oof, my back hurt." I also definitely had, like, stamina things, like, my stamina is just terrible now. But guys, if you're in the Peach Crew, I posted a picture of my feet in the Peach Crew, and as Melsa 2 described it, which is accurate, my feet look like bricks, okay? My feet are normally so lovely and slender. They were massive, massive, were they not? They were huge.
They were huge.
They looked insane. They
So
were
that would be
swollen,
your
they were
biggest
huge, I had
symptom.
no more ankles. Yes, that was my biggest and my feet hurt so badly. I'm looking at them right now. They're improving, but, like, oh my god, it was insane to me how insane they looked,
Question
and they
number
hurt.
Question number 3, did you feel like your experience was impacted because we were going on rides? I mean, we didn't do that many, but we were going on rides that you couldn't. Like, does that, I know it was same thing in Paris, it's same thing in August. Like, I feel like it doesn't really bother you, but I feel like it might bother some people.
I think for other people, it would probably be more of a thing. It was sadder for me in Paris because I don't get to go on those rides that much. So it was like kind of a bummer. But I can't remember what ride it was that we were waiting for. It was a ride where I was in line. Oh, it was Rock and Roller Coaster. Mouse C was like, "Are you sad that like you're gonna get up to the front and then have to exit?" And I was like, "Not really for me, because I've been on this ride so many times that I just sort of can like I can picture what you guys are doing. Like obviously, yes, it would be fun for me if I could go, but I know exactly what the ride is. It's not like I'm missing anything. I am sad that I haven't been able to do Test Track yet, but it just doesn't bother me that much. I think other people probably would feel differently about that and wouldn't want to be taking a trip. For me personally, I'm kind of like, it's okay. I'll be back. I'll do the ride then. It's fine.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think you have a good mindset about it. It makes it easier to go because we will tailor some things to what Mouse will want. Like we didn't do the speedway, like we don't, but because she can't ride that because you could get like hit from behind, just kind of a reference of why you can't do that ride. But I feel like you are like it is easy to go to the parks because you're not like putting a stink up about everything. All right, final two questions. What now that you're there, I feel like you were really clocking. We were all kind of clocking all the little babies, Jackson, Beacon Barrel, all the little babies around and stuff, being like, "Oh, that'll be you, that'll be you." What if you think of one thing are you most excited for when you do bring the baby? What are you most excited for the baby or for you to experience with the baby at Disney? Like, one of the things we
Ugh.
saw in Crystal Palace was, like, a little baby being so excited to meet Pooh, and it was so cute, and, like, the baby recognized Pooh. Um, what are you what are you most excited for?
Okay, in terms of what I'm most excited for to experience through like the eyes of the baby, it's meeting characters, I think. I hope
Yeah.
that he likes characters. But like just again, watching that little kid with Pooh, you see little kids like meeting Mickey for the first time or whatever. I think that that is so, so, so cute. I will say something that I'm excited for, just like being a parent in Disney, is that I think I know having a kid will force us to slow down and like have to just sort of like appreciate doing random things, which, as we talked about earlier, is something that we actually end up loving a lot of times. Like, we'll have so much fun doing some little random thing. And I think it's hard for us to get out of the mindset of being like, oh, we could do this random thing, or we could just like go do two rides. And so I am kind of excited that it'll force me to slow down and recognize some of the fun and like other smaller random things.
Okay, my final question, and then as you talk, you're gonna everyone watching on video, you're gonna see me disappear for a moment because the bathroom outlet stopped charging, so I need to click the button. My final thing is, what are you not least excited, but what are you most like, wow, with a baby, that's gonna be a huge change. Like the baby taking a nap or the baby screeching and screaming or not being able to do things or whatever. What's the thing that you're like, oh geez, like this will be really different and an adjustment?
One thing that Mouselets and I were talking about while we were there is that it is so weird thinking about, like, big rides that, like, we won't really, I guess, be going on those rides together much anymore because they have ride or swap, but that means, like, the parents are riding separately. I guess I could, like, leave the baby with you or, like, if, like, my parents come or his parents come, leave the baby with them, but it is just weird to me to be like, we wouldn't even be going on these rides as much in general
I just feel
anymore,
like we've
and,
been
like,
to
it
rides so many times. It's like, let's say we're like going to be like, oh, should we do Slinky? It's like, we probably should just not do Slinky. Like,
not yeah.
because we go so much versus for parents who don't go to Disney a lot, Rider Swap. Like, we had a woman on Guardians, me, Mousesy, and Mouselet, who was doing Rider Swap, and we like befriended her in line. We did Lightning Lane, and then she rode with us. We were like party of four, so like that was fun. And made, but like her doing the ride alone, it was kinda weird, she'd never been on it. So I think, like, that experience at the rider swap, because you guys have done it and everything, it's like, is it worth it to do something alone? When it's like, how fun is it to ride a
Right.
ride alone if you go on it a lot,
Or
you
will
know?
we Yeah, or will we just not do the ride, which then isn't weird for one trip, but when you're like, "Oh, wait, it's been 2 years and I haven't done this ride," like, that would be kinda weird to
I think
me.
we'll do things periodically. I mean, for me, because that was my final question, we'll do closing thoughts. I was talking to Mouse about this, and she was like, "Oh, you're sad," and I was like, "No, it's well, yeah, it's weird because obviously it's exciting for you and like for our family, but then it's like we've been going on. I would say we started going like on our actual kind of like trips. I would say that are like now in 2021. Yes, we had the Mouselets in 2017, 18, 19, 20, but I feel like 2021 was when we really started going on trips that like Mouselets has kind of taken its current form. And since then, like me and you have gone on a lot of solo trips. Kind of then Mouselet C started going on a lot. Mouselet A now comes on a lot more trips too. And we have a very like dink vibe, dual income, no kid, like adults in Disney vibe that we're like doing all those things and we're doing all like the adult type things and we're like living it up. And our last trip that I feel like was our last like real trip was February at the Poly Tower. That was the last time that like we went on our hot girl walks and like we all kind of worked remotely one day and we went to like the bars and all that stuff. The bars, I mean like Trader Sam's, whatever. But then after that, you've been pregnant, so it's been different. And like this past trip was pretty different still because you were pregnant and just moving slower. And we're like, the baby's coming, the baby's coming. So for me, it feels weird knowing that like I'm not having a baby. My life's not changing, but your life is changing. So like the mouselets will then change. It is an interesting phenomenon that's like occurring in my mind.
Yes,
It's like it's bittersweet, I
which is
feel
what I
like.
Which is what I kept saying to Mouselet Sea when we were leaving Magic Kingdom. Like, I was like, this is so weird. I come here so much. I have like a little mini life there, I feel like. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
I have a little mini life down there. I have a routine. Whenever I'm there, we have the things that we do typically on our
We
trips.
have a
We have
flow. We've just like
friends. Yeah, we
perfected
have,
this flow of like 5 years of like going to Disney. We're going to do this and this and this. And we bounce around so seamlessly that we can't do anymore.
and I was like, it's just going to be weird. Like, it's like the end of an era. And Mouselet Sea, of course, kept saying, he was like, you'll still do that. Like, I'm sure you'll still take trips and I'll just watch the baby at home. Like, it's completely fine. And I'm like, that is definitely true. And Mouselet Sea is, of course, just as much of an equal parent as I am. And he can watch the baby at home without me. But I just fundamentally am like, it's not going to be the same anymore. And that was a weird feeling.
It will be, yeah, it will be different. And just like, again, the flow of like, let's just pop in an Uber. Can't pop in an Uber with a baby. Baby needs car seats. You have to have a car seat. You have to stroll. Like, and it's not just that, but it is just like the trips. We'll never take a trip with the four of us again. Me, you, Mouselet A, and Mouselet C. Maybe hypothetically, would
Even
someone watch the baby? Sure. But I just think like on that type of trip, we just wouldn't really do that. Never say never, there might be a chance we do, but like probably you'll bring the baby, which I think honestly, this baby's going to get to come to Disney a lot. Hopefully this baby's
which
easy and
is
not a
fun.
little, which is fun and special. Like how cool for this baby that it gets to do that. Um, but yeah, it is just like, it's kind of the end of an era. And like, that is always what happens, but it is weird to think about.
Even when we like cram the four of us into like a little hotel room. Will I miss that? No, I don't
I
love
mean, we barely do
having
that
to
because you
share a
guys
hotel
snore
room,
anymore. Yeah. Like
but
that's
we
almost,
do. I mean, we
we do.
do. We
I'm not
recently
sharing a room
did
with
at
the
the
baby.
Swan.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like we won't do that anymore, which on one hand I'm like, okay, oh well, we'll have to pay for two rooms. Mouse 2 is a little bit cheaper than me. She wouldn't normally do that, but now she will. Love that. But like,
Well, we'll stay at a
it's weird.
moderate instead of a deluxe.
It's just like those little things are all changing. Anyways, dovetails very well into our pit and peach of the trip because my pit, which was alluded to earlier, is that when we were at Summer House, I just got like the world's worst headache, unfortunately, which is a symptom I had a lot during pregnancy. And I think it was just like being so exhausted, being so physically worn out. I don't know, staying up late, waking up early, my head felt like it was about to crack open and explode. And then after we were walking around Disney Springs and Elsa 2 kept being like, my perspective of Disney Springs is changing. I'm having the best time, aren't you? And I was like, no, because my head is exploding.
You
And
should have
that was
taken
just a bummer for
part of
me.
it was because you had your hair in the world's tightest ponytail and you wouldn't take it out because you thought it would look ugly. Okay. My pit,
Okay, no, my hair was literally gelled and slicked back. And
you
you
could have
said just
taken the
let it be in
ponytail
a cone, let it be in a spike.
if you had a bad headache. I mean, who cares? Okay. My pit, and I still had a fun day. And I was trying to like put this into word on stories. My pit was kind of our Animal Kingdom day. I had a lot of fun, but just overall, it was so busy. There wasn't that much to do. And I was just like, ugh, like, it's kind of walking around. I was like, Everest is closed, like this. And I was just like, too many people, kind of chaotic. Timing was like all off. I don't know. For me, it was just like, I don't really like to go to Disney when it's super busy because we don't have kids. We don't have to worry about school vacations. We have another 5 years of not having to worry about that. So good riddance. But um, yeah, for me, I just was like, ooh, I don't want to come at Veterans Day ever again. I never want to come when it's super busy. Take your kids out of school until they're like 10. We have a decade more of no busy times.
And I just need to say, guys, for an example of like there being quote nothing to do, we did the Gorilla Falls Trail. Okay, this is the order of things in the Gorilla Falls Trail. When you first walk up, there are these monkey things. That area was under construction. Then we saw an okapi. Okay, great.
Fun. Then we saw
Then
prairie
we walked
dogs. Too cold. They weren't out.
too cold. They weren't out. The zebras are normally there too. No, they were not out. We
Nope.
saw some birds and some fish. Then we went to the hippo
No hippos.
area. They were
Yeah,
not
no
no
hippos.
hippos. We went to the gorilla viewing area with the glass. Oh, no gorillas there today. There were some gorillas up by the bridge, but it was just like every single thing exhibit we walked up to was empty.
And there were 25 million people that it was like we were barely moving through the line. And it was just like, oh, and then yeah, Everest was down. Dinosaur was so long that it was like we weren't gonna wait for that. And it was just, yeah, like we almost did the Upbird show, but which we like and honestly probably should have because that would have been kind of a win. But then we were like, you know what? I don't know. It was just chaotic. It was still fun, but it was just so that was my pit. It was still a great day. It's always a great day in Disney, but like I wish it had been more fun. So what was your peach?
Okay. I do feel like one of my peaches, honestly, was the Tip Top Club at Jollywood, but
Yeah.
I'm going to say a peach I don't think you're going to expect. But our very last couple hours in Magic Kingdom. We parked at the Grand Floridian because Mouselet 2 had a spa reservation, so we were going to the spa. And so we like walked over from the Grand Floridian to Magic Kingdom. It was the
Scooted
most
over.
beautiful, gorgeous, scooted over for me. It was the most beautiful, gorgeous day. When we got to Magic Kingdom, like the parade was happening, the stage show was happening. I love both of those things. They're so quintessentially Magic Kingdom for me. It was my last couple hours there. We were just sort of enjoying the vibes of it. And it was just like, for some reason, it was very special and very memorable to me to have these last few like Christmassy magical moments. I had some
I
time that was
think
just
that's
me and Mouselet C. It was very
I think it was that
nice.
was all tailored to the baby. For me, that I was like, This is okay." Like, that was not I didn't experience that same feeling at
I
Magic
think it was
Kingdom.
just my like emotional mindset. And I was
Yes,
just
it
like, oh my
was.
gosh, Christmas here, me and Mouselet C, like watching this parade, watching the show one last time.
Yeah, you were in your feels.
What's
That I
yours?
didn't experience that. That
Yeah.
one honestly, my Animal Kingdom pick continued into Magic Kingdom with just the chaos. Still fun, still
Oh,
great,
I
but,
was
like,
having a great time.
my peach I love staying at the Fort Wilderness Campground. That was definitely a peach for me. I loved, like, just driving around. I also have a Grand Floridian Spa right now. I think that's my peach. It was just so different. It was so fun, and, yeah, I feel like it was relaxing. I did a massage on the Disney cruise ship on the Wish, and, me and Mouselet 3. Forgot his name for a minute. Mouse and 3, our brother, we both did this very specific type of massage, not together, but at different times. And it literally, I said, like, that massage changed my life. It was like, both of us said, we left being like, we're new people. We're going to relax. We're going to take a slow down. I didn't feel that at the Grand Floridian, but it still was just like really great and fun and special. After that, me and Mouse today went to Wailulu at the Polynesian, and that was really fun. And we just walked around and like, it was just a vibe. It was special. So I think that was my peach.
Interesting that
Um,
both of our peaches didn't really include the other.
Oh,
Um,
also, guys, I actually have to get to a sci-fi reservation in 45 minutes. So I also booked an Oga's
quick
Cantina
fact of the day.
reservation during this. Oh, do you see me being distracted for like 5 minutes? It was me trying to book an Oga's reservation. Okay, my fact of the day. I mean, it's so hard to think about it because we just filmed 24 facts, and I don't want to do one of those. I think my fact of the day
Oh,
is that
I was gonna do one of those.
no,
I'll have to think of a
there's a
new one.
really cool little hidden detail at Hollywood Studios across from the Starbucks Trolley Car Cafe by the fountain. It's a little stamped thing in the pavement. And today I was in Hollywood Studios using the bathroom on Sunset Boulevard, and I noticed there's another one. And I was like, oh, how cool. There's another stamp. So it's over by Sunset Club Couture, that blue, like, tiled building, right in the corner on the pavement by the bench. You can see a little stamp that says Mortimer Contracting. And it's Mortimer was the original name for Mickey Mouse that Walt thought of before Lillian Disney was like, no. And it's a really cool little detail. I think Hollywood Studios has such a cool like history to animation. And I didn't know that there were two of them. There might be more. So that's my fact of the day. Go find it.
I'll do another one in a similar vein. Outside of Tony's in the pavement, you can see a heart with two paw prints and an arrow through it for Lady and the Tramp. It's often covered by strollers. It's unfortunately now a stroller parking area, but you should find it. It's very cute. Okay, Mouse 2 has to go. She's still in Disney. I am not.
I am still
But
in Disney.
guys, thanks for listening. If you would like to join our Peach or our Pit crew to get a little bit more, we did a really long segment at the top of this episode. You can
Yeah,
check that out on
20 minutes long.
Patreon.
If you like this
Yeah,
episode, you're listening on Apple or Spotify, give us 5-star rating. I think you can almost leave a comment. I'm not totally sure in your review, but if you can, please do. If you're on YouTube, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And we will be back next Thursday to talk, I don't know about what, but we'll be
we
talking
don't
about something. So see you there.
see you then. Enjoy sci-fi.